3 to 4 minutes away from Mesnil. Mesnil is just on down to my left here, the little tree lines, a little village, and we're going to tell you the story of the County Downs, the 13th Battalion of the Royal Irish Rifles, and also we're going to tell you a story about the 14th Battalion of the YCVs. And it's out. Hopefully Sedgwick is down here because the Mayor, Monsieur Rasool, is on holiday. He's on vacation at the minute. So there should be someone from the village to meet us. So, on the right here, you're going to see a pillbox. Yep. We're going to slow it down. Just so get the cameras ready. And to my right now is the pillbox. We're going to go slow. Yes, there is, and he's drinking Jupiter. Come here. So you won't get any closer than that. Sure you wouldn't. There's two parts of Martinsart. There's Mesnil-Martinsart or Martinsart-Mesnil. So the two villages, believe it or not, are all part of the one. And the incident that's going to happen, that we're going to tell you, is that the 36th Ulster Division were forming up to go into the trenches, and a shell came down, and we'll tell you the story, and killed men from the 13th Battalion of the Royal Irish Rifles, County Down. And then what was realised was that, you can see the church as we turn around here now, guys, was that the time was completely wrong, and it is alleged that when the 36th Ulster Division went into the church, there was a collaborator, and what they made sure was to put it to this time, and that was the signal for the Germans. And you can actually see that the Germans are on the high ground up there at Tiefel Memorial. Ulster Division were camped out. In and around here they actually had huts, so it was good accommodation that they had. However, it was still within reach of the artillery, the German artillery, and we were camped all in and around this area. It's open and all, absolutely brilliant. Of the Royal Irish Rifles, and it's just exactly what it says on this plaque. So they were ready to go into the trenches, and they assembled just as we're doing now. When they assembled, a German artillery bomb came down and killed 23 men. The boys then realised that the clock hands at that clock, it was always the wrong time, and when that time came, the Germans kept on targeting the village. It is alleged the 36th Ulster Division went in, and there was a collaborator with the Germans in the tower. The 14th Battalion of the Royal Irish Rifles, the YCVs, took the clock hands and brought them back to Belfast. After the war, the party led by Band Major Mulholland came back to this village and returned the clock hands. When we done the research, especially with Linfield when we were doing the memorial, we came across a fantastic footballer, Richard McCracken. When we read a wee bit more into Richard's brother George was killed during that incident as well. So he was killed, but he was left off the memorial. And it's no fault of anybody being left off the memorial. The problem is he was brought to the field ambulance and he died near the coast in Rouen. So you can see that Linfield came over and they remembered George McCracken. I want you to listen to this letter. And I could have read it out. I don't have a County Down accent, but Jamie there, fair play to him. It's not easy speaking in front of people. And he's going to read out the letter that his brother wrote about the incident. Now listen to every single word.
Dear Anthony, it gives me great pleasure announcing your most kind and welcome letter, and for which I cannot thank you enough. Also, what was enclosed in it. Well, I am glad your health is improving, and I hope it will not be long till I see you. I am coming on in good style, and these chaps in this ward say I'm a cheery bird, but all the same, old Fritz gave me more than what I bargained for. He has smashed my right shoulder, but lucky no bones are broken, although bruised. He wounded me in 5 places, also a small one in the right leg below the knee. I am still in bed and will be yet for a while. I can take my food and thank God to change from what we got a fortnight before the attack came off. Anthony, it's hard luck on poor Geordie. I can hardly believe it yet. Poor lad, he suffered a terrible lot, but thank God he is safe now. How I escaped that night, I don't know. I was standing along with him ready to go to the trenches when the shell burst right in the middle of us, killing 24 and wounding over 30. What a sight. Legs, heads, arms were scattered in all directions. Poor Geordie got it in both legs and arms. I thought he would have pulled through, but when I heard he died, it affected me. Then I was left with Bob Hamilton to go to the trenches, just the 2 of us. We reached there at 6 o'clock the following morning, after a terrible experience. I thought of Geordie the whole time. I could not find the heart to speak to anybody. Then the time came for us to go over to the top, and firmly speaking, I have never seen a lot of fellows going into almost certain death, and those chaps from Ansper. They did not know what fear was, and truly Ansper should be proud of them. Anthony, it was hell. We had to go up a hill, and the Germans were well prepared to meet us. For away at the 4th line, they had machine guns in dozens, and they kept blazing away at us. Chaps were falling all around me, some never to rise again. Those who were wounded were falling back to their own lines, and at this point the German artillery were keeping up a terrific fire to keep our reinforcements back. But shells and bullets didn't stop us, but we went on. When I reached the Germans' 3rd line, I was bandaging up a wounded comrade when I got my final touch. You know, I got wounded twice to the head before this, but it never seemed to trouble me. I went on doing my work, but he knocked me out completely. When I was hit, I gave a shout like this, "Dick is done." Then a chap called Brian came over to me, and I mind him saying, "Oh, poor Dick." I asked him for a drink and he gave me one. I lay there, but I don't know how long. After some time, I wakened up and I seemed to be quite strong. I could feel the blood running down my legs. So I says to myself, I am not dead yet. So I started crawling, and I reached the place called the Sunken Road. I got bandaged up, but the Germans started to shell this place, as we had good covering in it. I dug a hole in the bank with my left hand, and I got into it, and I slept a while. Then I got wounded again in the right leg. At this point, I had only about 100 yards to go to our own lines, but I dare not face it, as the Huns were shelling it very hard. At last I started crawling again, and my God, help, I reached our dressing station about 5 o'clock. The doctor gave me rum, and I mind not the more that I wakened up in the 100th Field Ambulance. So Anthony, I had a rough time of it, but I am right now, and I expect to see you all in a few months. Joey and all the boys must have been wounded before me, as I could hear nothing about them, and I was inquiring a lot about them. But I am glad they are not too bad. I wish them all a speedy recovery. Your Willie is alright. He was to take charge of the German prisoners. I suppose he will have a lot of souvenirs. I could have got a lot, but when a chap is wounded, he doesn't care about them. Anthony, the Ulster Division has suffered, and our battalion has suffered, but the Germans have suffered more. Their dead was lying about everywhere. I hope to relate the whole experience someday sitting in the armchair. How I long for it. But at the same time, I'm going to take as long out of this place as I can, for I have seen enough of France, and our house has played its share in this awful war. One favour I ask of you, try and keep the old woman in good heart, don't let her fret. The death of Geordie will knock the heart out of them. Well, Anthony, I can't say much more. Tell Mrs. Dunham and all the rest to send them my best respects. Also, Mrs. Browns and them all. So closing now and again, thanking you and wishing you the best of health and good luck from your old chum, Dick McCracken.
Any historian can tell you the story. That's from his own words. He recovered and he became a Linfield legend. And you heard the wounds that he had. He recovered and he became a legend. Hey Bar, lament!